Meeting is now streaming on YouTube. Guys, I wouldn't be living up to the name of Man of Letters if I wasn't doing some at least historical mythological digging. So we're going to do some historical mythological digging. It was the whole point of making this channel in the first place. Supernatural things, boogeymen, vampires, werewolves, leprechauns, fairies and fae, Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology. Anywho, I'm going to read something for you guys. And we'll dig it. It was the whole. I'm going to read something to you guys. It's an old Canaanite god. His name is Malak. And please stick around to the end because you're going to. You should lose your shit over it. But if you don't, man, you got to check your pulse. Okay, so check this out. Also, if you notice, the title of this thing is super weird. I've been getting dinged by certain forces who host this platform for talking about certain things, and they don't let me monetize the videos. So that being said, that's why the title is all weird if you're curious. Brandy, Nikki, Agent Smith, Salavi, Jake the Snake, What's Cracking, Mermaids, yes. Don't worry about the links, Smith. That's cool. I'll side. You won't have to wait very long. I'm just going to read you who Malak was, then I'll tell you why it's significant. Malak is the biblical name of a Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice through fire or war. The name Malak results from a dysphemic vocalization of the Second Temple period, a theonym based on that stuff's not necessarily relevant. Canaanite gods. On top of that, so Malak is in terms of child sacrifice. I'm gonna find you the picture and do a screen share so you guys can see. You've seen the picture before many times, I'm sure. Sometimes people confuse him with Baal. He's sort of the child sacrifice. Here comes the screen share. We see here the bull. The Canaanites worship the bull. That was where Moses came down from the Mount Sinai and saw them worshiping the golden calf. You see this picture here, the offering of the child. The whole idea was the life force concentrated in the child is more pure, is more powerful. So by consuming said child, here's a pretty intense one. Tribute to Malak, gangster. So the dude is no joke. Let's see what the Psalms have to say. They served their idols and were ensnared by them. They sacrificed to demons their own sons and daughters, shedding innocent blood, the blood of their own sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, desecrating the land with bloodshed. Now, check this out. I'm gonna not say the name just in case it'll get me in trouble for it. So, well, whatever, I'll just say it. So we're at VRIZN.com. VRIZN Media, who is doing the big 5G push, by the way. VRIZN Media will host the 3rd annual Malak conference.
We're going live?
Yeah, dude, check this out. So VRIZN Media will host the 3rd annual Malak conference.
Can't find this on that side.
Malakon. This is just straight from Verizon, and then the from Verizon's website, and then the where are the pictures at? Oh, we're going. Isn't that crazy?
I'll look it up right now. It's on their website.
Yeah, but look up the god Malak too. Canaanite deity, Hebrew Bible. Where'd we go? Sorry, the screen share is making me go crazy. Oh, there's two browsers open. That's why. So what is MalakCon? An annual conference hosted by the creators of Malak. Malak is a large-scale open-source indexed packet capture and search system. It's used within VRIZN Media and other companies to help store and index network traffic for analysis. Let me know if the wind is killing you guys. It's kind of windy. I'm in the backyard right now. But I guess I can go ahead and end the share. Where is the live at? Ah. New moon in Taurus in the solar month of Taurus. The bull. The bull. Wow. Malak is from Canaan, so Hebrew culture. The Old Testament talks about it. There's some reference that Malak and Baal are the same god. I don't know. My Canaanite mythology isn't that on point. It should be. I should look into that. Whoa, Podesta emails show interesting. Yeah, I saw that. Hey, Buddy Lands is on here. What up, buddy? Nice to see you. Yeah, I saw that. WikiLeaks did have an enormous drop last night. Whew. Anywho, I thought that was curious. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm not necessarily one to throw all my things in a bucket at the drop of a dime. But I do like doing research, and I do find this wildly coincidental that Verizon is on top of that. I don't know what to make of it, you guys. I don't know what to make of it. I have no idea. I have no idea. When is it going to be held? So, well, this was last year. This isn't the year of the bull. What is Mullican? Where is it? About the speakers. Andy is the creator of Malak and former architect of AOL Instant Messenger. Interesting. He joined the AOL security team in 2011, and his motto is, "The truth is in the packet." Elise is the UI and full stack engineer for Malak. She revamped the UI to be more user-friendly and maintainable. Elise. Let's look up that name. Elyse. Might as well. I mean, we're already this far down the rabbit hole. Elise. Name origin. Meaning and origin of name or Elise. There's no origin. Normally you can find the origin of names. Each name sort of means something, you know? I'm trying to find it for that. It's weird. When you start poking around, it's almost, I don't know. I'm just sharing things with you guys. I don't know what to make of all this. I can't say one thing or another. Okay, so the different meanings of the name Elise. Elise is the woman that's running the Malak program. The Hebrew meaning means "my God is a vow." My God is a vow. A vow is like a promise you make, I think. Let me look up the definition for a vow. A set of promises committing one to a prescribed role, calling, or course of action. Typically to marriage or a monastic career. Monastic pertains to religion, I think. Let's see the definition for monastic. Relating to monks, nuns, or others living under religious vows or the buildings in which they live. So her name literally means, this is what I mean. When you start looking shit up, how weird it gets. Her name literally means a monastic vow, which relates to monks or nuns or someone living under religious vows. And she works for the Moloch um, program for Verizon, which just so happens to be the Canaanite god of child sacrifice. How how crazy is this, you guys? How? Oh, buddy, I was just thinking of getting lunch, man. I miss you. Also, buddy, I don't know if you're still here, but I'm making my own rum out here. I fucked up on the last batch, but this one I'm not. And it's already looking and smelling a lot better than the last. So when this whole ordeal is over with, I would love to meet up. Atlas misses you, Army. Atlas misses Army, and they need to play together because they fucking should. I miss you, man. I hope you've been doing well. But, whew, anywho, where are we at? Everyone should watch the Whitney Webb interview with Maria Farmer about how the media protected Epstein. It's like a rabbit hole. You can unsee it, never ending. We can't I understand that the media can be dark, but we got to be watching it, you guys. We have to be able to look at the darkness and hold the light. You know what I mean? Like, not live and dwell amongst it, but we also can't just be blind and stick our head in the sand and pretend like it's gonna go away if we ignore it. That's what I used to do, but it's like, I don't know. You gotta stay grounded. You guys gotta. That's the biggest thing, is staying grounded when it comes to things like this, whether you're researching mandatory vaccinations or for all the crazy darkness that's going on in Hollywood, or politicians, or how the media warps and distorts things. Like, you got to stay grounded in all of this. And my grounding practice has literally been gardening. Like, I've started, I don't know if you guys can see behind me. We have 2 patches. We're growing corn and cucumbers, and it's like, the whole point of grounding, I learned this from psychedelics. The whole point of grounding is having an anchor for your mind to settle into that feels safe. And that can come in many ways. You can read, it can be friends and family, it can be gardening, it could be going for walks, it could be your exercise routine, your studies. So I don't advise to ignore the darkness. Definitely don't advise to do that, but also don't advise to be consumed by it at the same time. But anywho, we will link as soon as they open up the outside again. All right, man. Miss you, buddy. Raven Priestess, if we decode the names of the key players in politics, it is mind-blowing. Shira taught me about decoding. I know, I need to, she's recommended some books on decoding, and I've been meaning, that's the one I'll add to. I have a couple books on deck. We're halfway through Power and Force. I've been lagging. And maybe I'll read the decoding book next, because that's a whole, because why not? Because why not? My grounding is cooking. Hell, there you go. Raven Priestess, we're going to have a party. I have a bunch of herbs and veggies homegrown. If you want to bring your witchy ass over here and prepare everything, by all means. Yeah, watching the press conferences is better than catching up with the edited highlights with spin. That's true too. Buddy brought up a good point, because I've not doing it anymore, but I fell into just relying on Instagram pages and article headlines to sort of, and I would relay that information without looking it up myself, which is the worst thing you can possibly do. It's terrible journalism on my part. And so I came, like, for example, I came across the Malak thing. I was like, all right, anyone can Photoshop Verizon running a Malak fucking conference. I was like, no one in their right minds would do that. Sure enough, I Googled Verizon's Malak conference, and it's right there. I Googled who Malak was. It's right there. So it's like, as you can see, I looked up the lady who's running it. Her name is Elise, and that name means one who serves a vow, a religious vow. Like, this is where people say we live in the Matrix, you guys. It's almost like you You can't make this shit up, or you could make this up, but it's, I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's wild, absolutely wild. Mirror Man, the Rothschilds. I don't know, but we all picked it up. I'm only on page 55. I'm on like page 110 of Power versus Force, but I'm liking it so far. Sarah Romano, hola, how's it going? Darla Ruiz, okay, I've been confused with staying grounded and while watching what's going on, and also with what your manifestation can be in that moment. Makes sense? Yeah, absolutely, Darla. I wouldn't worry about manifesting too much all the time. Like, it's not all about manifesting. We want to be made aware of everything, the dark and the light, right? We can't, if you don't know what darkness is, how can you avoid it to go towards light? In other words, if you're always ignoring it, you might be falling into the same darknesses over and over again because you've never actually acknowledged it to distinguish between what's actually right and what's actually wrong. That's sort of the quarrel I have with the it's all love and light, is that you're only acknowledging sort of one side of the spectrum. But go off your gut. You know what I mean? If you're diving down rabbit holes and you're feeling heavy and exhausted and sort of like, fuck all of this, that is your cue to go elsewhere. You know what I mean? To go for a walk, to watch an uplifting documentary, to you know, you should have a goal, right? You should have a big long-term goal that you're headed towards. Go towards that, the thing that makes you excited, whether it's a book you want to write, a business you want to start, or a YouTube channel you want to do, or anything. That long-term goal should be the thing that brings you peace above anything else. A child that you have, it should be, that's what it should be. Half the point of having a long-term goal is you always have something to look forward to. At least for me, that's how I see my long-term goals are. Something that will always be there for me. So yeah, don't worry about what you're manifesting at that time, because I mean, I hear you though. Some people say don't put energy into, I say don't put energy into things that you don't want to become manifest. But it's, manifesting is more about a maintenance of energy. Like, things don't manifest instantaneously for the most part, right? Let me think of a good example. If I find myself in the same situation, in the same relationship, with the same problems, with the same cycle of events that keep happening over and over in my life, and missing something, I would be a fool to be making the same mistakes over and over again if I knew the answer to fix those things, or understood the answer to fix those things. What you doing, Kingston? Why, you want to water the plants?
No.
What do you want to do? Ooh. Bring me the hose. Watch out for the still, it's super hot. Bring it over. You're welcome. Here. Stand over there when you turn it on so you don't get it all muddy over here. Coop. What you look for is what you attract, right? Yes and no. Not what you look for, what you attract. What you are, you attract. And again, it's not so much about attracting as it is resonating. We've talked about that a bunch of times. You resonate with your surrounding world. You don't attract your surrounding world. That's what the law of vibration is. It's resonance. And it's the same thing as the example that I use with the violin string, where if you pluck one violin string, the other matching violin string that's next to it will vibrate and make a sound without being touched. It's because both those strings are the same frequency. They're both tuned to the same string, so they will vibrate each other without having to touch each other. That's what's happening. That's how we quote unquote attract things, by resonating with them. And we don't necessarily resonate with something just because we look at it. To a certain degree, we will. That's why when you look up dark things, you feel dark and sticky afterward, because after a while you start to resonate with that, because two frequencies can't come together and not resonate with each other. Like, never will you, well, 99.9% of the time, if you pour hot water into cold water, will it not turn into warm water? You're not going to put cold water into warm water and the cold stay cold. You know what I mean? You're always going to have frequencies mixing, and they're going to share information. But like I said, the point is to acknowledge the darkness, not to dwell in it, because we have to have a hierarchy of choices. You know what I mean? There has to be a decision that's better to make than another decision in any situation. Like, if I want to start a business, there are things that I need to do for that business to be successful. And I can break it down and be like, okay, I'm going to do 5 things today towards my business. Did you complete those 5 things? Yes. Okay, then today was successful. It's just simple as that. But if we don't know what's good and what's bad, then who knows if the decision we're making is right or wrong? You know what I mean? It's like you're always figuring out in hindsight what was the good decision or what was the bad decision, instead of sort of being more proactive about your life by knowing all choices, or at least knowing a good amount of choices that are in front of you. It's just like this situation here, for example. We looked up, I just followed a trail. Like, okay, Malak, VRIZN, that's a crazy god. Let's fact check that. Okay, they are actually holding that conference. Who's that god? Okay, that's the god. Child sacrifice. Who's running it? Some chick named Elise. Her name means what? It means someone who takes a vow to a god. And it's like, whoa. Like, okay, now I have more knowledge. That doesn't mean I dwell in that world. It just means, okay, I'm not going to trust VRIZN anymore, carrying on with my life. So in the future, if there's ever like a debacle with VRIZN doing some shady things, I'm going to go, well, they run an organization that's named after a Canaanite god who eats babies. So I'm probably going to vote against him. You know what I mean? That's sort of like what I mean by be aware of what's going on. Peace out, buddy. You probably took off a while ago, but love you too, man. What you look for is what you attract. Wow, as many people work on manifesting, which right now manifest health. Yeah, too many people do try to manifest material. There's nothing wrong with material things. I don't want to hate on the material, but yeah, definitely a lot of people are stuck on that manifesting word, and it's limiting. It's very limiting. Lady of Fire Poetry, that's good to see you pay attention. I just not to negativity so much, but I understand it. See, that's all you need. You just need to understand what's going on. You don't have to become it. I would like to know your understanding on Jesus being called God. Was he a prophet? Really want your opinion. Don't believe he is or was God. I don't know. I can give you my opinion, but my opinion on Jesus isn't really backed on facts or too much in-depth reading on whether or not he was a god or he is the God. And on top of that, different gurus that I follow and different people, well-spoken spiritual people that I really appreciate their teachings, even they have different things to say on Jesus. So it's like, I don't know. But if my straight up opinion, don't hurt the tree, Kingston. What are you trying to do? Oh, well, scare him away with something smaller. Don't break that branch. There's a bunch of oranges on that. Anywho, where are we at? Oh yeah, we were talking about Jesus and God, right? Jesus being called God. Well, first of all, did Jesus ever say that he was God in the Bible? I don't know. That's not a rhetorical question. Can someone answer that for me? Or I guess I can look it up myself. Does Jesus refer to himself as God in the Bible. I know Jesus says that the kingdom of God is found within. That's 10 names of Jesus that Christ called himself. Son of Man, I am life. That's only 3. You just said 10. What the hell? This says, so believe what you want about Jesus. That's your prerogative. But don't expect anyone to accept that Jesus never claimed to be God. His I am put that lie to rest centuries ago. See John 10:25. Jesus answered, I did tell you, but you do not believe. The works I do in my Father's name testify about me, but you do not believe because you are not my sheep. Interesting. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father who has given them to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one. Okay, well, he says right there, I and the Father are one. But he's not saying I am God. He's saying that we are one. Technically, we're all one. So that's not necessarily saying that Jesus called himself God, as in the God. Again, his Jewish opponents picked up stones to throw at him. You know, it's even more wild than that. Hey, don't let that water run. Shepherds lead sheep to slaughter. I'm not anti-Jesus. Again, I'm just speculating here. Don't kill the messenger. I always found, not always, I've been recently finding it weird that we've always been referred to as Jesus's flock, his lambs, and he's the shepherd. And even in Jesus's times, what a shepherd was someone who herded sheep inevitably to slaughter. And what made me think of that was what was it? It was a quote I read